You know what? Taking photographs, for me, just like painting pictures, is great fun. I can just do it every day. In fact, I do that, paint pictures every day. That's been my career for 15, going on 16 years now. I left a long career with one of Canada's banks and ventured into this world of painting pictures. But I also, along the way, take pictures of landscapes and places that interest me that I want to paint paintings of, and I bring them home and I create paintings of them. Now, the photography that I do is, well, mostly on these old film cameras. And this is a roll film camera. Look at that, rolly cord. This is a camera from, I don't know, maybe 80 years ago, maybe longer. And it's everything manual about it. Like, and you look down through the viewfinder there, see that? And you can see, here we go, there we go. And you can see like what you're gonna take pictures of through the top, and then the bottom is what actually takes the photo onto the film. Anyway, I get carried away talking about it. But you know, one of the things that is kind of weird about photography, especially old film photography like this, well, it's not about getting the film or making the prints. I mean, it's all manual, and you're gonna have to commit to that if you're gonna be into this kind of camera, or even a 35mm manual camera. But what's really weird about it is that how many of us love to take pictures with these things. We love the mechanics of it. We love the focusing. We love the, you know, the crank and the click. And we just, everything about it, we love it. But the reality is, and I'm making this video because I'm really wondering to myself, you know, why do we do it? I mean, why do photographers do this? And I suppose that kind of crosses over to, you know, digital photography as well. See my Nikon over there that I use for scanning my negatives, and then using Lightroom to edit my negatives, as opposed to a whole darkroom setup. I have a darkroom setup down there, but I've never used it since getting back into these because, well, scanning is just so easy and so quick, and Lightroom and everything. But still, I get to do this click and wind, focus, click and wind, you know, this stuff, you know, it's great. But I'm still asking the question, why? Why do we do this? And the reason why I ask is because YouTube is full of videos about photographers, well, being photographers, and more specifically street photographers, which I admit I fall into that category every once in a while. I like to take a roll out and shoot pictures around my town and people on the sidewalks and doing funny things, or just being people. You know, that's interesting enough. But why do this? Well, is it just for the joy? I mean, that should be enough. I mean, honestly, for me, that's enough. But it's expensive, you know, acquiring these things and then buying the film. It's like 15 bucks a roll for a black and white, 12 exposures, not even 24 or 36, but 12 exposures on these things. And then you gotta develop it, you know, that's an expensive setup, but once you're set up, it works out to $1.50 per roll of negatives. So it really doesn't add up to that much. It's not a big deal. But all told, everything involved, this is really not a cheap venture. So again, why do it? I mean, just shoot digital and you'll be fine, right? well, maybe it's because that sound is cool. Maybe it's because looking down there in the viewfinder is also very cool. Maybe being able to control the focus yourself instead of autofocus is also very cool. Well, maybe choosing the f-stops or the shutter speeds, because being in control makes the picture turn out the way you want it to, not the way technology decides it for you. That's cool too. It certainly isn't about making money, because I'm a person who is self-employed. I make money selling those. RobertMcAfee.com if you're curious to see more of those. But we're talking about photography today, so my other hat. But I know that street photographers always talk about the gear that they have and the places, and they're always in New York City or Chicago or Toronto or Vancouver or wherever, and there's always lots of interesting things going on, people there, and yeah, I'm there. I live close to Toronto, and I dig all that stuff too. I live in a little mini city, I call it, Oshawa, Ontario, where we have some high buildings and concrete sidewalks, and we have lots of people bustling about, and it's fun to go out there with this and just take some shots incognito. You look like you're fixing something, and then click. People don't even know you took their picture. Or you can turn it sideways like this, and people have no idea that you're taking their picture. They think you're fixing something anyway. All of that is fun and cool, but you never really hear about street photographers who, well, not most of them anyway, make money, actually are well compensated for doing this, and they get their photos out there, and they got Instagram accounts with thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers. That would be nice. I have that with that side of the business, but with this side here, I got maybe 1,000 followers. Maybe you'll be one. Subscribe to this, or maybe you won't. But no, I think it's got to be more than the monetary side of it, right? I think it's got to be about the joy of doing this, loading the film, cranking the film into place, setting the focus ever so carefully, adjusting the shutter speeds and f-stops, and then that beautiful click sound. I gotta film in this, so I don't want to blow a frame because it's so expensive. It's definitely about the joy of real photography again, using film and creating. Just like painting those pictures with this, I create, I play with the light, I paint with the light, with the shadows, with the different times of the day. It's a lot of fun. And I suppose maybe one day I might sell a print or two. I don't know. Maybe it'll lead to something cool. But until it does, I'm fine with this, because I dig this. And that's why I do it. So tell me, why do you do it? Are you out there trying to make a career out of it? Are you making a career out of it? Tell me that there's some way that that's possible. I'd love to know in the comments. Just take a second, just tell me your story. I'd love to know. Otherwise, until then, and forever anyway, I'm hooked on these guys. I've got 6 of them now, 6 different models. And they all have that beautiful click and wind and focus, and yeah. So let me know your thoughts, okay? And See you next time right here on this channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments, because that way, the group will get bigger and we'll have discussions and we'll have some fun with it. See you later.